project is going to have an event and a speaker at the Methodist Church on 21st and J. And you'll probably hear more about it on my show the following week when we have Akif Shababi, who's going to speak from the Palestinian community, and we'll have a few people from the Jewish community speaking. So tune in next week on the 26th at 5, the week after that, and that's when we'll be on. And also I want to let you know about a wonderful program called Cancer as a Turning Point for the Soul. It's going to be a free lecture for those of you who like to travel to Santa Cruz. And it's you can call, and I don't know the area code for Santa Cruz, but you can look that up, and the phone number to call is 464-0885, and it's going to be at Cabrillo College, Santa Cruz, and the speaker is going to be Joan Barisenko, who's an excellent speaker and on health and on healing. And I think some of you who like to travel down to that area, that would be a nice time to go. It's a Thursday evening, and I think she's having a workshop on Friday and Saturday, a 2-day workshop. So you might be interested in looking into that. So now I'd like to get back to our guest, Manny Gale. And Manny, maybe we could talk about a little bit about the kinds of actions that you've seen people take to either organize, to get help. I was listening to a tape today by Clarissa Estes, who wrote Women Who Run with the Wolves, and she was writing about that, we can't do things alone. We can't be what does she call the match child who dies in the snow because she's alone and nobody gives her any support. That all of us need support, and this program is for support and for us to find ways to support each other. So what are some ways to work to make things happen together so we don't do it alone and wear ourselves out? How have you been able to go for 70 years and when you started at 3 years old?
Well, I didn't organize or analyze it in this fashion as I am now, but it has developed over the years, and clearly these are the necessary steps, if you will, in order to organize and advocate for social change, because that's really what we're talking about. First off, there has to be identification of some problems or needs or issues that you're concerned about. And particularly since we're talking about the crisis in human values, at least that's where I'm coming from, we're concerned about the impact of the problem or issues on people. For example, childcare is a major kind of issue. And here you have 70% of women who are working, and a significant 70% of married women are working, and you have
but that doesn't even count the single
that doesn't
women.
count the single moms who are working. And a major crisis for them is how do they get affordable, quality child care? And we as a society which is pushing women to work, because women are working, some because of their professional interests, but in large measure because of economic necessity. And particularly with single moms, they're working because of economic necessity. For us as a society not to provide assistance for child care is a crisis in values. We're expecting women to work. At the same time, we're not making it possible for them to be assured that their kids are going to be well cared for. So that's concern about what the impact is on people. We're concerned about the moms, and we're certainly concerned about the children. You have to be frustrated. There has to be frustration level that says that these issues are not being adequately dealt with, and that change needs to take place.
Okay, so what can the mothers who are busy working do, and what can the seniors who are busy doing their volunteer work?
Well, they have problems. The mothers who are working are torn because they are super women. They're demanding of themselves, and the society demands of them that they work and they provide child care and they cook and they clothe and they provide caregiving and all the other stuff that goes with it. And so there are organizations or groups that are concerned about how do we improve access to child care here. Child Action, for example, is one of those. But if you're concerned about the fact that the county is not providing or the state is not providing adequate subsidization of child care, then you have to move at the state level. And this certainly happened with Governor Gray Davis cutting out money that was to continue subsidized child care for women who had been on welfare, who were now working, and whose time limit was being reached.
Would you want everyone who's listening here to write a letter to somebody? Would that be, is that powerful?
Writing
or?
a letter to Gray Davis about the need for more child care, quality child care for working moms would be a tremendous contribution that you all could make.
Okay. Email them or snail mail them
directly.
anyway.
Mail them directly to the governor's office, state capitol, Sacramento, California, 95814.
Well, you have that one memorized,
Oh yeah.
huh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Another issue, I think, in terms of pushing people to become motivated is you have to become angry. You have to develop this healthy outrage that I have developed for myself, but you have to be angry because the issues are not being dealt with.
So angry doesn't mean burning things down.
Oh, no. I'm talking about internally angry and therefore motivated to work for change, that you want to make a difference and you want to see that difference take place.
Yeah, one of the things I think I found for myself, sometimes when during my lifetime, when I've felt like things were hopeless and things weren't good and that kind of thing, I would find something that really interested me, with something that I felt strongly about. And once I got started working on it, I found myself not being angry, but I was working on it. And even though a lot of projects and things I worked on didn't necessarily change the world, in some way they changed me and the people that I worked with, and it had a ripple effect. And some of those changes have started to take place, but it takes a long time. It's not one of those things that happens overnight. And then some things do seem to happen overnight. And so you've been able to stay in for the long haul?
Long haul. The anger leads to motivation to work for change, and then organizing with others. And this is a continuous process because one person can make a difference, but thousands of people can make a greater difference. And that's the critical issue about organizing. Of course, you have to research the issue. You have to understand it inside out.
Research sounds like a big word and a lot kind of hard. So
but
what
you
does
have
that
to know
mean
you have to know
research?
the facts. You have to understand the facts. If we're talking about child care, we're talking about health care, we're talking about jobs, we're talking about low wages in Sacramento.
I mean, how much research and books and going on the email to get information does a person have to do in
Not
order
a
to...
lot, but if you get together collectively with other people, then you can share that task. But the research is necessary so that you are presenting, you know what the facts are, and you can present appropriate analysis of that. For example, here in Sacramento, in-home supportive services, we have 7,000 workers who are earning $5.75 an hour. That's minimum wage, no benefits. They are providing basic services for elderly and disabled people in their homes to keep them from going into a nursing home. Well, there's something strange, if you will. There's a real fundamental crisis in values when we are only willing to pay $5.75 an hour for this very important care that these people are providing. And at the same time, in Sac County, we're paying a zookeeper $12 an hour with benefits.
That is a little strange.
Isn't that strange?
Yeah,
Isn't that
a little strange?
Isn't that a question of values there? So research is important. You have to understand what these issues are, what is it by here in Sacramento, et cetera, et cetera. You have to identify the sources of power. Who are the decision makers? If you're talking about the city, or you're talking about the county, or you're talking about the legislature, or the governor, where are the sources of power? And direct your efforts and energies against that.
You know, hopefully on this show, and, you know, hope all of you listen every Wednesday at 5 o'clock here on, what station are we? 91.5 FM. Listen to us, and we will be having some of the change makers in the community being here, just like Manny, people who have made a difference and can tell you some of the ways they've done that. And you'll be able to talk to them on our call, on the telephones. And you can call us at 456-5199, and that area code for those of you who are just outside of our area code, this is 916-456-5199. If you listen to us next week, make sure you have your pencil and paper next to you when you tune in, so you can write down all the good information and people you can contact and all that kind of thing.
Well,
But,
there are three more points that I'd want to make in terms of the
okay,
process.
great.
One, after you've gotten together with people, you've undertaken the research, you understand what the issues are, you know the sources of power, you have to develop a strategic plan. How are you going to try to influence and affect that power center? And action is on a multi-level basis. It could be writing letters, it could be meeting with people, it could be organizing forums, it could be demonstrations, it could be any of a number of different levels of action. And finally, I think the important thing to recognize is that success, being successful at this venture of advocacy and organizing for social change, is empowering.
By that you mean what, Manny?
What I mean is that if you are successful or reasonably successful, this means that you get a new sense of yourself as an individual,
You gain
and
yourself.
you gain self-esteem, and you also gain power as an individual, but also the influence that can take place as a result of being involved with many other people who are concerned about the same issue.
Well,
Even if you don't win the first time, it motivates you to come back again to really bring about and make that difference.
great, Manny. I want to thank you so much for being here, and I want to encourage all of you to listen in next week. And we're going to have Akif Shababi and on the Palestinian-Israeli issues that are going on today. Akif Shababi, for me, is a man in this community who deserves the Sacramento Nobel Peace Prize. He has worked so hard and is such a peacemaker himself, and I urge you all to listen to Akif and some of his friends and people, the Jewish friends he has, and it should be a wonderful time together, and you can call. And I wish you a great week, and start putting your plans together, and call us and tell us what you're doing. Thanks, and I wish you farewell, and bye-bye for now.
Don't touch that dial.
For now, we'll see you and maybe hear from you next week.